Hey, what's up guys? Scorpid here. Please like and subscribe to show your support. Heh heh.
In the goblin-run town of Gadgetzan, Scorpid awoke on a straw and wooden bed, a thin white sheet separating him from the prickly straw beneath. The afternoon heat lingered heavily in the air, adding a drowsy weight to his movements. Despite the lateness of the hour, Scorpid shook off the lethargy and left the inn. The town, similar to Ratchet but larger and guarded by more goblin bruisers, had provided a night's refuge. However, as Scorpid stepped beyond its sandstone walls, the comforting sense of safety evaporated. Ahead of him stretched a vast, desolate wasteland. The salt flat plain before him was devoid of life. This was a land where only the hardiest could survive, and Scorpid was about to learn that the hard way. Venturing further, Scorpid's journey took him north, navigating up and down a ridge along a dusty road. The salt flat expanded around him, a seemingly endless expanse of white that merged with the horizon. It was here that he came upon a peculiar sight: the raceway. This was where goblins and gnomes, both master engineers in their own right, came to test their latest creations. Sleek racers zipped across the flat land, kicking up clouds of salt in their wake. Although Scorpid had little interest in the technical rivalry between goblins and gnomes, he recognized the opportunity for work. The raceway, teeming with engineering fanatics, was ripe with potential for side gigs that could be quite lucrative. As he explored the area, Scorpid was approached by a gnome named Fizzle Brassbolts. Fizzle, with an eager gleam in his eye, requested Scorpid to harvest venom from the local Scorpids. Funny name for such creatures. This venom, he explained, was a key ingredient for a new intensely hot, burning fuel. His brother, Whizzle Brassbolts, had a different task. He needed dense tortoise shells from the giant tortoises roaming the flats. These shells, known for their strength and durability, were to reinforce the fuel tanks holding the volatile Scorpid fuel. Caring, not for the gnome's plight, only for money, he discreetly made his way to Pozic, a goblin on the opposite side of the raceway. Pozic needed hollow vulture bones, a lightweight alternative instead of wood for the chassis of their racers. During his time at the raceway, Scorpid encountered a large, burly tauren named Gerin. Unlike most members of the Horde, Gerin seemed disinterested in conflict, focusing solely on profit. He offered Scorpid a deal: thin the numbers of basilisks roaming the flats to prevent them from straying onto the racetrack. In return, Gerin would share his payment. Scorpid agreed. With his tasks clearly laid out, Scorpid set about hunting the creatures of the Shimmering Flats. The vultures, with their hollow bones, claws at his face with their talons. Their nests were predominantly to the east, near the skeletal remains of a colossal beast. The ribs of the long-dead creature had once sheltered someone, evidenced by the broken supplies and torn canvas scattered around. To the north, the giant tortoises moved slowly around the remains of a half-buried shipwreck, a stark reminder of the salt plains past as an ocean. The tortoises were heavily armored, and each strike against their shells sent painful chips flying back at Scorpid. After several bruising encounters, he adapted his strategy, using shurikens to attack from a distance. This new approach spared him from the shell fragments and made the hunt significantly easier. In his search for basilisks, Scorpid also scavenged scrap metal from the wrecks of crashed racers, a treasure trove of materials for the engineers at the raceway. Eventually, Scorpid stumbled upon the ruins of a long-abandoned farm. The land, once fertile, had succumbed to the encroaching salt and lack of water. The only remnants of life were the salt-scale basilisks, drawn to the scant, salty water that remained. It was here that Scorpid engaged in a careful culling of their numbers, mindful of their dangerous, petrifying abilities. Upon his return, the gnome engineers were delighted with the resources Scorpid had gathered. Fizzle, however, had one more task. He requested Scorpid to locate Martek the Exiled in the distant Badlands, a renowned smith who could provide insights into crafting high-stress pistons for their racers. Scorpid declined. He couldn't be bothered. Pozic, the goblin engineer, was equally grateful for the hollow vulture bones. However, he faced a dilemma: a missing blueprint for a fuel regulator, which was supposed to have been delivered by Gazlo, the mayor of Ratchet. Pozic asked Scorpid to inquire about the blueprint's whereabouts. Agreeing to help, Scorpid made his way back to Ratchet, determined not to return to the Shimmering Flats until he had fulfilled all the tasks set before him. In Ratchet, Gazlowe informed Scorpid that the blueprint shipment from Booty Bay, a port city in the jungles of Stranglethorn, had not arrived. Scorpid committed to investigating this delay, though he had other business to attend to in Kalimdor first. His journey led him through the Stone Talon Mountains and into the arid expanse of Desolus. Arriving at night, he found an Alliance settlement where he could rest. The land, much like the Shimmering Flats, was harsh and unforgiving. Inside a grand elven structure, Scorpid found a comfortable bed, a stark contrast to the straw and wooden one he had left behind in Gadgetzan. As he settled in, his thoughts drifted to the adventures that awaited him the next day.